Welcome into DNVR Bets Daily. The Hankover, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Gotta remember that
Can't
part.
forget that one.
The Hankover is continuing today. Still no RK, still no Dre. They're out in Mobile. We got something better. It's me and Big Drive Spence.
What is up, dude? What is up? Henry and his bets, and I get to join in. We get to talk a little golf.
I'm fired up. Yeah, there's golf to talk about. There's plenty tonight to talk about. No Nuggets props yet, so we can't get to those. But I don't know. What are you most excited about? What's getting you going about this betting slate?
There's a lot of NBA games.
Yep.
And there's a lot of matchups from teams that played last night. So we usually see a lot of points scored. We see teams where you can find a line that's maybe different. Maybe it's a little bit, let's say, overvalued or undervalued based on the team playing last night. We know our Denver Nuggets played last night. They were in a basketball game. they didn't really play, but still a good road trip at 4-1. But
Yeah.
they got to rebound tonight for sure.
They've got to do a lot of things differently tonight. We'll get to that though. Let's just jump in with these big threes. I can go first because I feel like the vibes are good. Nuggets plus 3.5. I'm in. I feel like the Nuggets are a team that are sometimes better on the second night of a back-to-back. Like I feel like for some reason that brings out the best in them.
Yeah, they've definitely shown that I think they had the NBA's best record last season in back-to-backs. I'm not sure exactly what it is this year, but especially I feel much better about it coming off the game they did last night. We saw them on Sunday just obliterate the NBA champions, the Bucks, shooting the hell out of the ball the whole game. Then last night they couldn't make anything. They had these up and downs. Of course, Nikola had another great game, but nobody came along with him. And it was just like got to a point where I was like, the Timberwolves don't miss. And I'll tell you, I hate losing to the Timberwolves, and I think the Nuggets do too, so they're going to rebound tonight, I think.
I was really excited yesterday when I got in on the Nuggets plus 150 because then like 20 minutes later, Jokic was playing. Like the news broke that Jokic was playing,
right.
And so I had the 20% boost on that.
Oh, there you go.
And the plus 150, and so it was a great deal. I went to the Avs game. So like halftime, it was, oh nice, yeah, they were like right there at halftime. I think maybe it was right before halftime. I fell off. But I'm just getting the score updates, and it's just like, how is this happening? Minnesota sucks.
Yeah, we were at the Avs game watching the Nuggets game before the Avs game started, and they were down like 17, and I'm like, God, we're getting blown out. And then they brought it back to like 9. And then the Timberwolves went on like a 12-0 run, and it was like a 27-point deficit. And then the Nuggets brought it back to like 15.5, and then just, dude, like when you see guys like Naz Reid filling it up and Taurean Prince, you're just like, all right, it's not our night. It's not our night.
I said on the show yesterday, like I'm feeling a Jared Vanderbilt revenge game. But then what I said was, the problem is he can't score points, so he's just going to get a bunch of rebounds. And then he goes out there and drops like 20 points on the Nuggets.
He did have a good game.
I felt dumb. Getting on to my second pick, though. I've got the under in this USA-Honduras game. Under 2.5 goals scored at plus 115. So in the last game, these are the World Cup qualifiers. USA was playing El Salvador, and I was able to get in on El Salvador plus 1.5, and I actually sprinkled the money line too, just because the odds were crazy, and I feel like the U.S. is going to blow these games. I've decided I can't just keep betting against the U.S. because it just feels wrong, and so instead I'm just going to say that under 2.5 goals scored in a game where the U.S. probably should win like 3-0 because they're so much better.
That's a good point, and the best thing about that is when you want to bet on a game, but you don't want to bet against your team or for your team, you always got totals.
Yep.
And then you can either cheer for no goals or goals. So it's it makes it, for when you're a degenerate, like I will admittedly say that I am. Like I'm like, I don't want to bet on the Nuggets tonight. I don't feel great, or I do. But I'm like, let's just take the total. And overs, unders, they're a blast because you just never know what's going to happen.
Yes, sir. Last pick. I've got Justin Rose to beat Cameron Champ tomorrow in the round 1 of the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. We can get more into this pick and some of the others. I've seen a lot of Justin Rose hype this week. I honestly saw so much that I kind of talked myself into it. And so this seems like a responsible way to get in on this.
Hey, absolutely. Justin Rose has been playing some really good golf lately.
He
hasn't won anything, but he's had his name at the top of the leaderboard or on Saturdays, Friday afternoons late. So, and Pebble Beach is a place where he's an older dude, played a ton of golf there. And Cameron Champ is struggling right now. We bet on him a few times on our picks, and he's kind of not come through for us. So I like the pick. Like I said, Justin Rose is playing good golf. So
all right. What you got in your big three?
All right. My big three today, we are looking at, first of all, I don't love making this pick, but I think it's a responsible pick. So Bojan Bogdanovic is averaging 28 points a game in his last 2 games against the Denver Nuggets. He lit it up in Denver. Absolutely lit it up here. And then when we played in Utah a couple weeks ago, he had, I think, 21 or 22. So they have nobody tonight again. Joe Ingles is out for the rest of the season. You hate to see that. Rudy Gobert's not playing tonight. Donovan Mitchell's not playing tonight. So it's basically the Conley-Bogdanovic show. And I still believe I'm riding your pick as well with the Nuggets covering that 3.5 and winning this game. But I think somebody's got to score for the Jazz.
Yep.
And with the Nuggets being on a back-to-back, we know they struggle defensively already, it seems like, some of these games. And so them flying into Utah late last night from Minnesota, I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. And, boy, Bogdanovic is going to lead the Jazz in scoring. So he'll have at least 22 points, hopefully not too many more, but enough to win us the bet.
Remember when the Nuggets were like leading the league in all the defensive stats?
Yeah, that was a good time.
It was so much fun. You're like 15 games in, and you're just like, oh wow, best defense in the league. This is incredible.
Yeah, and now it's like, oh well, honestly, it's like the Broncos over the years. I want them to win games. The Nuggets are going to win a ton of games, but it's also more fun when they score.
That's true. And also, like, it's kind of like CU this season, where it's like, well, start off all right. Defense is really good like we expected. You get to the Minnesota game, and it's like 13-0 deep in the third quarter, and then just kind of floodgates open. It's like 30-0.
Yeah.
And then every week the defense realizes, like, the offense isn't going to score any points, and so it just tumbles, and then all of a sudden the defense goes away.
Exactly. My second pick in my big 3 is going to be the Charlotte Hornets, Boston Celtics under 223. I'm not quite sure. This line just stood out to me, because last time these two teams played about a week and a half ago in Boston, the total in the game was like 109. So this is a huge number, and I looked through. Boston hasn't had a game go over 223 in its last 8.
Damn.
Now, Charlotte did set an NBA regulation time game scoring record a couple weeks ago, or a week and a half ago, at scored 158 points against a way lesser team than Boston. But I see this as like a 108 to 110 to like 104 game, and comfortably going under that 223 points. So, and even last game they played, LaMelo Ball had a triple double, and they still didn't even. It was like 107 to 97. So, feel really comfortable about this Boston-Charlotte under. And my final pick tonight, I'm crossing my fingers that he plays. I don't think we have an update quite yet. I know Harrison, our boy Wind, chimed in a couple hours ago and said he was questionable. But Aaron Gordon, this is a special. So if you log into your DraftKings app and go under the Nuggets Jazz game, it's a special pick. So him to get over 20 points. He's done it 2 of the last 3 games.
Yeah.
And I think tonight will be one of those nights. Like, I love Nikola Jokic props always. Who doesn't? Yep. But tonight seems like one of those nights where he's gonna pass it a ton, and try to get everybody involved. They shot the ball like ass. Let's be honest, last night. So I think they're gonna try to get back into that groove of him dishing it. Hopefully Bryn Forbes is better tonight. Aaron Gordon's better tonight. So, and that's great odds, plus 275 for Aaron Gordon can put up 20 instantly. I mean, he used to do it all the time in Orlando. And I think the Nuggets are going to need him tonight if they want to, and they really want to win this basketball game, finish this road trip 5-1. So
we got that question in from Caleb here. Just got here. We betting the over tonight. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We're taking the over. Nuggets are going to score a ton of points tonight. They can't shoot the ball as bad as they did last night, and I mean, let's just face it, Utah's going to score. They're in Utah.
That's just what happens.
It doesn't matter who's playing. They still have Conley. They still have Bogdanovic. They have. What's that guy's name that always cooks us?
Clarkson?
Clarkson too. And then the guy that...
The other guy who always cooks us?
Yeah, I'm struggling here, but...
Okay, well, while you struggle, I'll tell the good people where they can make all these bets. Over at DraftKings Sportsbook, the moment we've been waiting for since September is finally here. In honor of the big game, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56, is giving new customers 56-1 odds on either team. Bet just $5, you'll get 280 in free bets if your team wins. Not a new customer? Well, you can still experience Super Bowl 56 with same-game parlays. Combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. DraftKings is safe, it's secure, it's reliable, and best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use the promo code DNVR, and get 56-1 odds on either team. Bet just $5, get $280 in free bets if your team wins. That's promo code DNVR at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56. Must be 21 or older, Colorado only, new customers only, restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Couple great things real quick about this Super Bowl.
Okay.
No Kansas City Chiefs.
That's
love
probably
that.
the best thing that can happen in a Super Bowl.
Love that for us. And
no Tom Brady.
No Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Even better.
No Bill Belichick. We throw him in there too.
Yeah. We're 0 for 3 or 3-0 as we like to call it in Denver. But those same game parlays, they're fun for normal games. The Super Bowl, they get absolutely wild.
There's so many props.
There's the national anthem props. There's props on what color Gatorade will be spilled on the coach's head at the end. I mean, you can get very deep in the weeds
and
in
you
the
can
same
get a
game
lot
parlay.
of money.
A ton.
What's your favorite bet?
My favorite is definitely the Gatorade. I hit it 2 years in a row. I hit it. I think it was the year after the Broncos Super Bowl, and then the year after that, I had blue once, and then I had orange, and I only took orange because it had the best odds. It was like plus 1,500. I think this is literally 4 years ago, and it hit. And it's just fun because even if you're not watching the game, or well, you're obviously watching the Super Bowl, but like, you get to wait till the very, very end and see, like you're worried about the cameras are showing all the other players and everybody celebrating, and you're just worried about what color Gatorade's coming down on the coach's head. So,
what color are you picking this year?
Let's see. I think the Rams are going to win it.
Okay.
I don't want them to, but it's just what my head's telling me.
Probably like
and
blue?
Sean McVay's going to get that blue Gatorade.
Okay.
Yeah, you heard
Blue
it here
Gatorade.
first. You heard it here first. Blue Gatorade on Sean McVay's perfectly combed hair.
That is good stuff. Let's get into this golf tournament. AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am starts tomorrow at like 8:30 our time, I think. Isn't that nice when it's on the West Coast?
Yeah, it's
incredible.
It starts super early. It's and the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am is a fun tournament to watch because you get the the professional golfers. There's I believe 3 top 10 players this week playing in the tournament, and or official world golf ranking, of course, and you get to see guys like Bill Murray. Josh Allen is skipping the Pro Bowl to play in the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. So you get a different feel of it. And Pebble Beach is another one of those courses that is widely known in the United States, and you can play it at any point. Like you can go out there. I mean, don't get me wrong, it costs a lot of money.
Have you played it?
I have not played Pebble Beach. No, unfortunately not. But you can just call and make a tee time and pay to play. I mean, you got to have money. But if you win all these bets on DraftKings, you can just take that and go play Pebble Beach.
Wow, that's how you should approach this.
Yeah,
you got to find somebody who's like 40-1. They'll pay for your round at Pebble Beach.
Exactly. And there's a few great picks out there, especially in that higher zone because, like I said, we don't have that many high-level players in this. So there's a clear favorite, Patrick Cantlay. He's the best player in this field, probably playing the best overall golf right now. But when it comes to betting golf, I actually love. I don't know if you talked about it on the show, your golf betting strategy.
Yeah.
You have.
It's been a while.
So what Hank does is, and I'm jealous of this, and I wish we could do this, but it's just like too many graphics and too much to get out each day. So Hank takes a tournament winner on Thursday, then does it again Friday, does it again Saturday, does it again Sunday.
Yep.
And so of course the odds aren't going to be as great week to or day to day, but at the same time like when you take a player, like I have Lucas Glover as one of my picks this week. He's plus 8,000. It's just like a long shot. We do a long shot pick every week.
Do you play the buyouts with those?
I try to, yes.
Okay.
I try to. I try to play the buyouts. I tried to play the buyout with I had the tournament leader after Friday 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
But I was Cantlay. And I was like, because he was leading after Thursday, leading after Friday, and you know how hard it is to go 4 days in a row and win a tournament wire to wire. Of course,
you're Tiger.
Yeah, exactly. He ended up losing it, and I didn't take the buyout, so I'm gonna start being a buyout man after these tournaments. But
it's tough. Golf is the one that gets me. So my rule is always like, don't take the buyout because I know that like the odds are just not as good. In the long run, you'll make more money by letting the bet play out, but you really have to commit to it. Otherwise, you're just going to be going back and forth. So sometimes I like make bets with the idea of getting the buyout,
Yeah.
and so that's like separate. But typically I don't. And with golf, it does kind of make sense just to say we'll take the buyout.
Absolutely, especially when you are watching the tournament, and like that's why I love your betting strategy too.
Yep.
A guy comes out hot on Thursday. Sorry guys, but he's probably not winning the tournament.
Probably not.
And especially if it's not a big name guy.
Yep.
Like those bigger name guys, the guys that have been there, won 10, 15 tournaments in their career, they have a good shot at it.
Yep.
But the guys that, come out and fire 63, you take their over the next day. You find their over in
Yes,
strokes,
you do.
and it's probably like 69, 70, depending upon the course, and you take the over because 2 days in a row of golf like that, especially at a place like Pebble, not gonna happen. Not gonna
exactly.
happen. So,
But that's why it's so fun. It's just like you take somebody today. Like I don't think I'll take Cantlay. I'm still deciding. We're gonna make this decision together. But like Spieth is up there. Zalatoris I feel like is a good one. But you try to find somebody who's like in it, and then if they're still in it tomorrow, then maybe you take more of a long shot. Or 2 days from now, maybe they're both out of it, and so you want somebody who's more conservative up at the top. And if you're lucky, then maybe you have like 2 of the top 5 going in the last day, and you're like, "Well, just throw some money on the favorite and see if he can hit this."
exactly, and it makes it fun to watch when you got a couple guys coming down the stretch. I will say though, Zalatoris, just for you guys, he's out this week.
Oh,
he
is
has
he?
COVID. He tested positive for COVID. So that's another player though that has been playing extremely well.
Yep.
Should have won last week and choked it away. Was leading a tournament 2 weeks ago at the American Express and didn't end up winning, but he is out this week. So unfortunately, no bets on Willie Z. COVID-19 got him, and he'll get to take a couple weeks off.
And he's one of those guys who you could see like totally benefiting if he was able to play from these top guys not being here.
Oh,
Or
absolutely.
it's like the young guy where it's like, where is he in 4 years? Because there's a chance that he's just like the world number 1 at that point.
Exactly.
And this could be like one of those stepping stones to that point. Mito Pereira, another guy kind of like that.
Exactly. He's
Yeah.
South American. He plays really well in all the tournaments across the pond and in the DP World Tour, but he's played well in a few. He's been up there in the leaderboard in a few different PGA Tour events this year.
Yep.
So another great guy to look at.
Doors open here.
And like you said, looking at, I'm guessing the first round leader is going to be around the 6 to 7 under tomorrow. But anybody that goes 3 to 4 under, even par, as long as they have a good Friday, they're right in the mix. This isn't one of those shootouts like the Tournament of Champions where Cameron Smith won at 34 under.
Yeah.
Like this isn't happening at Pebble Beach, especially if it starts getting windy. You're going to see a winner around 12 to 14, maybe 15 or a little higher, but nothing crazy.
Who's your favorite pick to win it?
So my favorite pick to win it is actually Jason Day, and
That's a good one. I was considering that.
He's plus 1,800. He's won this tournament before, and he seems to be. Jason Day was a guy that everybody looked at like people are looking at a Victor Hovland or a Colin Morikawa now, where you're like, is this guy going to make a run at a Tiger-esque? Now, first of all, nobody will ever do what Tiger did again. That's just a known. But like when you have these players, like you compare Colin Morikawa's numbers right now to Tiger's the same age, and they're pretty close. Now Tiger had an unreal run that nobody will ever top again. The talent's just too deep in the PGA Tour and around the world. But a guy like Jason Day was like that, where everybody's like, okay, he's won a major, he's ready to contend every week, and then he had the back problems, and then he was, just you never knew, like you couldn't trust him for a 4-day tournament. And after last weekend, he was right there. He had the lead for a little bit. He was tied for the lead for a little bit on Saturday with that Saturday finish. And like I said, Pebble's a place he's comfortable, so I like Jason Day at plus 1,800. Now, granted, I like Patrick Cantlay, and I'll say that, but
it's just not worth it.
I'm not taking pretty much under plus 900 to 950 is my limit for taking. Like golf tournaments are so random.
And that's one for me where it's like, well, tomorrow if he goes out and he's 2 under, and he's sitting there at like 40th, well, then maybe the odds are better, and that's where you jump in.
Exactly right. Yep, exactly.
Yep.
And like last week, for instance, there was players that started out the first day 9 under, and then they didn't. They couldn't even finish 12 under or 13 under, even getting a chance to lead after shooting a 63 the first day. So it's very back and forth with golf, and it's tough to bet on, but it's probably the most fun to bet on.
I like Jason Day though. I think that's probably going to be my winner. I mean, always top 10 in this tournament. Just about always top 10 in this tournament. Like good at Pebble Beach in general. He's plus 115 right now to get into the top 20.
See, that's a great bet.
That's a really great bet.
Because you're getting plus odds, and like I said, this isn't a deep field. Like top 10s and top 20s can be scary when you have a super deep field, but finding value in a guy like Day who A is playing good golf, and B has like a history at this course. Those are the two, like when you're betting golf, those are the two things you have to look at immediately.
Yep.
And then you can look at other stats. Like this week, there's an important stat. Pebble Beach is a real greens in regulation percentage. And so that's what I went through and looked at and found some guys like with some great value. I mentioned Lucas Glover's plus 8,000 to win the tournament. Right now he's 9th on tour in greens and reg, and he's played a lot on tour. Like some of these stats early in the season can get misconstrued because guys have played literally 4 rounds on tour this year, or 8 rounds, 2 tournaments. But he's played, I believe, over 24 rounds already, 6 tournaments from last fall through now. And he's hitting over 74% of his greens in regulation, which is pretty impressive. And at Pebble, you don't really, you need to putt to win any golf tournament. But if you're hitting greens in regulation, you're going to be way ahead of the field, especially at Pebble.
And there's 3 courses that they're playing. They're all short.
Yes.
Like they're all short. Probably why some of Bryson DeChambeau, for example, is just like, maybe I'll take this one off.
Right. And the fact that it's a Pro-Am, I think a lot of players don't love that. You know, if you're smart and you're not a high-level tour player, this is a tournament to get in. First of all, Pebble's a great venue.
And you get to play with Josh Allen.
Exactly. You get to play with guys like Josh Allen, Ray Romano, who else? Bill Murray's playing in this tournament. Just guys like that you get to get paired up with. And if you can keep your focus while you're playing with a guy that's slapdicking it around and shooting 100, if you can keep your focus, you can enjoy this tournament. And, it can be a springboard for some guys. End up winning it, like I believe Max Homa won this a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And that kind of started his career like, hey, I'm here. You know what I mean? It's one of those tournaments. So
I'll throw Matt Kuchar out there, plus 6,000 to win. He's an old man. Like he probably won't win, but we're talking tee to green. We're talking not necessarily hitting the ball the farthest. Plus, he's specifically good. I guess this is a very unique kind of green that they have on all of these courses. Like a something Anua or something. It's
Poana.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Poana. There we go.
Poana greens, and which makes it Poana greens make it interesting because you almost like to bet on guys that are teeing off earlier, because the later in the day that you get, the Poana grows out more and makes the greens A, tougher to read, and B, a little slower.
Okay.
So in the morning, that Poana is not as prevalent in the greens. By the time the day's over, the sun's going down, the sun's been up all day, that Poana actually grows during the day and makes it a little slower and a little tough. I guess it depends on how you look at it. It makes it slower, which makes it easier to putt sometimes, but they're not used to it, and it's not as smooth. So those guys that tee off in the morning, definitely, I can guarantee you will see morning rounds be a lot lower than afternoon rounds throughout the first couple of days before the cut.
That is good to know. I feel like we should wrap this up by actually throwing out some real picks. I will say that I do like the Justin Rose bet. I think anything Justin Rose I could be in on. I threw on the round 1 versus Cameron Champ, minus 180, but I think he probably gets that. Bezuidenhout, I always get that wrong.
Christian Bezuidenhout,
yeah, there we go. Plus 140 to be the top South African.
Okay.
Not many good ones in the field.
No, so he's got is Ernie Els, I don't think, is playing this week.
I don't think so,
no. I'm trying to think. Mito's not South African. He's South American.
Yep.
So I'm trying to get this to load. Top South African, that's fun, and those are some fun bets to get in there and do. Like if the golf, DraftKings in general gives you so many options at any point to bet on anything. But let's see, we've got
Dean Burmester, Charles Schwartzel,
Dylan Fratelli, and Dwight Vanderwalt. Davey Vanderwalt. I would say that's a pretty solid bet.
I think it's a good bet.
Plus odds already at the best player, and it's a 1 in 5 chance.
Why not?
I love that. One of my picks is Kevin Kisner to be in the top 10. That's plus 350. Ooh. He's also one of those guys that is top 10 on the tour right now in greens and regulation. He's actually second on tour in greens and regulation in the field. So he's like 7th overall on tour, but second between basically who's playing this week. Of course, Patrick Cantlay first overall on tour, but Patrick Cantlay also hasn't played a ton of tournaments. Like he's been good in everyone that he's played, but he took last week off and after blowing the lead 2 weeks ago. So we'll see. But like I said, Patrick Cantlay is just too it's too low to bet on. You don't want to be throwing money at something like that. Especially, I mean, you can toss some money on it, but you're not going to get the payout that you're going to get with a guy that's like a Jason Day or this plus 1,800. Yeah, and anybody, Pebble Beach has had some obscure winners like a Nick Taylor. Daniel Berger kind of burst on the scene last year, winning this. A Ted Potter Jr. a couple years ago. Vaughn Taylor. Jordan Spieth is back, which is cool. He's I believe like plus 13 or 14.
We haven't brought him up at all.
No, dude, he's been kind of off the map.
He scares me.
Yeah, he does.
Like, I am unwilling to bet on him at this point.
Absolutely, especially a tournament like this. Like, putting is not, it'll help you, but it's not going to win you this golf tournament. Hitting the ball is solid, and hitting it in play is going to help you, and he's not a guy that you can trust to hit the ball in play, for sure.
I'm definitely taking Jason Day to be top 20 at plus 115. I think I'm going to take him as my pre-tournament winner. I think that's the best one. I mean, Maverick McNeely, he's another hot name this week.
Yep. He made an ace last week.
Yep.
At the, oh man, I'm already forgetting. They're running together for me. The Farmers Insurance Open.
Yep, that's
made
right.
An ace and was also there Sunday, or Saturday, I guess, on that Saturday finish. He was right there, right in the thick of things, 10, 11, 12 under. Had a chance to make a run on the back nine and win it. So.
All right. Cool. I think that's it for the tournament, unless you have any final thoughts.
No, that's it.
Any other good questions in here?
Take that, Kevin Kisner.
Give us your official Super Bowl bet.
My official Super Bowl bet. Oh, man. As much as I think the Rams are going to win this game, I think this game, just like every game pretty much in the entire playoffs this NFL season, comes down to a end of the game play. And I think I'm going to take Bengals right now, I believe, is up to plus 4.5, maybe buy it up to plus 5, but I just can't go. I put everything I had against Joe Burrow last week, and I will not be fooled again.
I know. It's really tough to bet on these ones. Like I said yesterday, like, betting during the regular season is a lot of fun because it feels like there's always at least a couple games where I'm like, that team is way better than that team. There's value here. When you get down to the end and it's just good team versus good team, it's like who's going to make a play in the fourth quarter, and that's tough to predict.
Oh, exactly. And I mean, last week, if there's any human in the world that thought the Bengals were going to win that game when it was either 14-3 or 21-3,
I know.
Come forward, be on the show, because you have some sort of premonition level style that I couldn't see, because I thought the Chiefs were going to score 55 points. I literally thought they are not going to get stopped once. Yeah. And then they score 3 points, no touchdowns, 2 first downs in the second half. Like, it's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
And that's why we love sports.
It is why we love
think something's going to happen, and it doesn't.
I'm so fired up for this golf tournament, too.
Dude, I can't. Pebble Beach is it's amazing. It is. The seventh hole that overlooks the ocean. And like you said, it's one of those courses or tournaments, again, where they're playing multiple courses.
Yeah.
So you get to see, like, how players, like last week in the Farmers Insurance, struggled on the north course, tore up the south course. And that can factor into your betting as well.
It totally does.
If a guy's plays well at the harder course the first day, then the second day he goes to the easier course, he's already up there in the top 20, and then he shreds it, and he's leading going into the weekend.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is.
We had a 2-hour Zoom call with all the new CU coaches today, so I'm just going to be writing all day the next few days, sitting on the couch watching golf.
There it is.
Pebble
Awesome. Beach in the background. Make sure you tune into that, especially on Sunday, CBS. There's no football this weekend. Nobody's watching the Pro Bowl. Don't lie to yourselves.
Not even Josh Allen.
So turn into the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, and hopefully some of these picks are going to make you some money.
Hopefully. Thanks for coming on, Spence.
Absolutely. Anytime, brother. Appreciate you having me.
Awesome. That's going to do it for today. Oh, shout out to super producer Kale behind the scenes today. No yaya. That'll do it. We'll be back with more Hankover tomorrow.